What up, folks? Cajun Blaze here, and we got a little video for you. A little history, a little video about some knives. The correlation between these three knives is they all have one thread in common, and they belong to my grandfather, G.W. Jackson. His name was George Washington Jackson, and he was born on February 22nd, 1922. My grandfather was hit by a train in 1980, and after that he wasn't the same. He lived through it, but he wasn't the same man he was, of course, before he was hit by the train. And he lived about 22 years after that. And I knew him, you know, growing up after the accident, but I didn't really, I don't have a lot of memory of him before the accident in 1980. But over the years, my dad has collected a couple of things from my grandfather, and just recently they sold their house that they lived in for, I don't know, 50-something years. And as we were going through some of the things, I was able to pick up a couple of pocket knives that belonged to my grandfather. And they were this one here, the Old Hickory, and the Campmaster. And just recently I was at my dad's house, and he came across this old timer that came along with this sheath, this leather sheath here. And just pulled it out of here to kind of show you the three knives that were my grandfather's knives. The first one we'll look at is this Old Hickory. I think they still, I've seen kitchen knives that were Old Hickory knives, but not too many pocket knives. It says Ontario 606, and then it's got like a OK stamped on the butt of the handle, and it's got two blades on it. Very difficult to open. But that was a couple of his little pocket folders that he carried with him in his EDC, everyday carry. Well, you just don't see many people. You know, you see a lot of EDC videos, but you don't see a lot of people showing knives like this in their EDC. But I tell you what, back in the 60s and 70s, every guy, this is the kind of knife. You go back and ask your dad or your grandfather what kind of knife they carried, and I guarantee you it'll be something very, very similar to this. I'm surprised he didn't have a case knife in there. Now this is a Campmaster, and as I recall, when I was a young boy, I used to have one just like this that I got from an Army surplus store. And this one's made in the USA also. This is made here in the USA. See if we can let you take a look at that. There you go. Old knives. Nothing like having an heirloom from your father or your grandfather. And this one's from my grandfather. You know, nothing elaborate, not expensive. But you know what? The value of this old, dirty, rusted pocket knife is more valuable than anything, you know, any other pocket knife that I own, just simply because it was his and he's no longer here. So this is a piece of my grandfather that I have. And this is his old timer that he when he would go hunting, my dad recalled that he would take this, was in his go-to bag whenever he'd go hunting, and he'd skin his deer or whatever. And the cool thing about this old knife is, this is back when Old Timer used to make their knives in the USA. Isn't that cool? Just a lot of rust. A lot of rust on these old knives. It's got that kind of saw blade design on the handle. That was their part of jimping back then, and handle texture. You know, they wanted to put something that wasn't so slick. They stuck these grooved pieces of this is probably some type of plastic, but it's got a sawed design on that, so that you can you can hang on to it, and when you're skinning your animal, then blood gets all and the juices get all over your hands. It's not gonna slip. So this was their type of grab hold of it type jimping, and this one has a clip point blade here, and then this is that skinning blade right there. You can see he tried sharpening it a bunch of times. This blade has seen better days, but you know what? This is a great pocket knife for me. It's dirty, it's old, it's rusty, it's an old timer, and that's my grandfather's. G.W. Jackson, George Washington Jackson, born on President George Washington's birthday, February 22, 1922. So this is just a cool video. It's a cool moment to reflect on my grandfather. You know, you go back years and years and years, and knives have been around for a long time. And maybe you got a story, or you got a video of something that belonged to your grandfather or your dad, or something that you have that was an heirloom. If you do and you feel like posting a video response to this, please do so. Film your video with whatever type of blade that you have that you might have gathered from your father or your grandfather, and post it as a video response. And before leaving, I'll just kind of throw this in as a comparison. This is our EDC blades that we carry today. They look a lot like this, with pocket clips, full flat ground blades, one-handed opening. Who would have thunk it 30-40 years ago that knives would look like this? So beautiful, so unique, and so futuristic. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a great day. And the Cajun Blaze always says, not A, not B, but see ya!